It's a time when we all stand and cheer for them because they are our team. With every pitch, with every swing of the bat, we hold our breath, and for that split second, we become part of their team, anxiously awaiting that final precious out. For in October, when they win, we win. Tonight in Philadelphia, a city so rich in history, there will be a call to arms this game has never seen before. After rewriting baseball's history books, Roy Halladay and Tim Lincecum meet in a playoff pitching matchup as exciting as there is in the game today. The resilient San Francisco Giants battled the defending NL champion Phillies. Two teams, one goal. Are you ready for the drama? Are you ready for the emotion? October baseball is here. Game 1 of the NLCS is next on the Fox.
Welcome to the Chevrolet pregame show on Fox. We are caught in the midst of a whiteout in Philadelphia. Phillies fans are pumped up as they hope to become the first NL team in 66 years to win 3 straight pennants. The Phils hit only .212 in their first-round win against Cincinnati, but how long can you keep down a squad littered with perennial all-stars like Chase Utley and Ryan Howard? The Giants lineup may lack Philly star power. It'll count on the likes of Rookie of the Year candidate Buster Posey and former Florida Marlin Cody Ross to duplicate what they did against Atlanta in order to advance. But make no mistake, this series is all about the arms race. Great matchups all around, starting with a pair of Cy Young winners, Tim Lincecum and that man, Roy Halladay, who both made history in their playoff debuts. They'll be at it in Game 1 of the National League Championship Series as the NL West winners, the San Francisco Giants, face the NL East champs, the Philadelphia Phillies. Hey, not too bad. Mid-October night in Philly, temperature of 57. It is clear and the wind not as bad as first forecast. And with that, hi everybody, we welcome you to Fox's coverage of Game 1 of the NLCS. And of course, we would like to thank the legendary John Malkovich for narrating our open tees. Red is in theaters nationwide right now. I am Chris Rose, joined as always by Eric Karros, and with us this weekend here in the city of brotherly love, a guy who laced it up for 13 big league seasons. Of course, his fastball, coupled with those flowing locks and a touch of wildness, made hitters uneasy in their cleats. He was an all-star in 1989. He helped the Phillies get to the World Series in '93. From MLB Network, the Wild Thing, Mitch Williams. Welcome home, my friend. How are you?
I'm doing really good, Rosie. It's good to be home. It's a lot of fun, and I know I cannot possibly lose a thing sitting up here, so I feel good about being here.
I want to know if you can do that move that we saw at the end of the highlights still.
I can still jump, I just can't land.
I think a lot of people want to know where's the hair. Where's the that?
The better part of Valor won out on that one.
Okay. Well, it's good. I've got my closer here. I've got my power hitter down there. And, of course, if I need any starting pitching, there's plenty of leftovers down here on the field. And it all gets started with Game 1 tonight. Philly center fielder Shane Victorino, he jokingly said, if you're a hitter, why even show up? At least I think he was joking. We're talking about a prize fight on the line. Lincecum and Halladay coming off arguably the 2 best postseason pitching debuts ever. Halladay tossed only the 2nd playoff no-hitter ever last Wednesday against the Reds. An evening later, Lincecum threw a 2-hit, 14-strikeout gem against the Atlanta Braves. And Mitch, let's start with Roy Halladay. His first year here in Philadelphia has been unbelievable. 21 wins in the regular season, including a perfect game. What has made him so dominant?
What Roy Halladay does that no other pitcher in the big league does as well as him is control the opposition's bat speed. And what I mean by that is you do not want hitters going up there sitting on their backside and just waylaying at the baseball. We're looking right here at Joey Votto, who is possibly going to be the National League MVP. And you watch his approach to Halladay. The balls are cutting him off inside. Halladay's getting him to roll over and feel for the baseball. In game one of that series, Roy Halladay controlled bat speed like nobody I've ever seen.
Well, and as a hitter, the only thing you can control is your approach. When you go up against Roy Halladay, what you do is you look for a pitch in a certain location. He's going to throw you a strike. He's around the zone. But if you try to protect all the pitches and all the spots in the plate, you're not going to have any success. So pick out a spot, stay committed to it, and hey, if you get that shot, let her rip.
All right, for the San Francisco Giants, Tim Lincecum, 2 Cy Young Award winner already in his first 4 years. He's got the freakish hair. He's got the funky delivery going. What makes him so effective, Mitch?
Well, number one, I'm glad he grew his hair because he took away my bad hair when I played. But number two, what this guy does is get ahead in the count. He throws the ball downhill, and you look at the tilt on all these pitches. Everything is out of the zone. When he gets ahead of a hitter in the count, he does not throw strikes. He makes hitters chase out of the zone. It makes him unhittable with 2 strikes.
Well, you know, Charlie Manuel, the manager of the Phillies, described Tim Lincecum as a 1-for-4 guy. What that means, hey, look, you get 1 hit at 4 at-bats, that's a great night. You've got to look for the fastball. You can't cover the slider, the changeup, or the curveball. Look for the fastball, get it up in the zone, and don't miss it. Because as Mitch said, when he gets ahead of you, he expands the zone, and we saw what happened to the Atlanta Braves. They got eaten alive.
So all in all, maybe Shane Victorino was right. Your batter doesn't even bring the wood up there.
I don't think he's far off. Let's put it that way.
Well, guys, for the first time since the New York Mets' Mike Hampton faced the New York Yankees' Roger Clemens in Game 2 of the 2000 World Series, will pitchers who threw shutouts in their previous playoff games square off? So you heard what our guys thought of Halladay and Lincecum. Let's find out what these 2 aces thought of their historic performances.
It has that feel of fall as we get set for Game 1 of this National League Division Series. This is his first postseason game. 11 years in the big leagues. His first postseason appearance.
Swing and a miss. He struck him out on a pitch in the dirt. Another 1-2-3 inning for Roy Halladay. It's strike 3 call. He strikes him out to end the ball game. It's in time, and it's a no-hitter. Unbelievable.
The no-hitter, you don't try and go out and not allow hits. It just kind of happens that way.
You start reading guys' swings or what's going on throughout the at-bat, and so it makes it easier to make your next move. First inning, we got into a trouble situation with 2-1. I threw a couple sliders in there.
Swing and a miss.
My dad always said, you always kind of get your better mechanics when you throw a breaking ball.
Swing and a miss. Swing and a miss. Swing and a miss.
My thought process the whole time is just trying to stay aggressive, be in the zone, and be down in the zone, trying to make them hit my pitches.
Jason Worth is there, and he puts it away.
I started to gain rhythm as the game progressed. I never got too comfortable, never got too anxious, just kind of tried to stay even keel.
Really not until you go out for the 9th inning do you think, I got a chance at this. I knew it was going to be a tough play, but he sacrificed himself for it, went down on both knees and made a great play. That I thought was the play of the game.
Getting a chance to pitch in the playoffs, under such a big spotlight, it was a dream come true for me, but to do as well as I did, that's just kind of the cherry on the top.
It should obviously be a great matchup in Game 1 tonight. As far as the NLCS goes, Game 2 underway down in Texas. Yankees looking to take a 2-0 lead in the series, but in the first, it's the Rangers jumping out again. Elvis Andrus on the back end of the double steal. That against Phil Hughes, and now David Murphy turning on one.
Everything is big in Texas, and Murph hit a big bomb in Texas.
Last night, Ian Kinsler, a critical mistake late. He got picked off first base. He represented the tying run here. EK make amends.
Well, I like Texas came back today. They were still aggressive. It didn't matter what they did last night. They're ahead right now. They win this game. It's a tied series at 1 apiece.
Well, a quick reminder, you can also take a shot at victory by entering for a chance to win postseason tickets or an all-new 2011 Chevrolet Cruze at worldseries.com/cruise. We are back with more after this. it's time for the singing of our national anthem. For that, let's send it over to the public address announcer, Dan Baker.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, would you all please stand and help us honor the United States of America. Out of respect for our country, we ask that you please remove your hats as the Philadelphia Boys Choir and Chorale, under the direction of Jeffrey R. Smith, sings our national anthem.
They are ready for baseball in Philadelphia, and so are we. Eric and Mitch's NLCS predictions are coming up. I'm sure the Vice President, Joe Biden, can't wait to hear them. And then it's time to play a little baseball. Two of the best pitching stats go head-to-head. Will the stars shine in this series, or will an unlikely hero etch his name into the history books? First pitch between Tim Lincecum and Roy Halladay. So anticipated, now just minutes away. Before we get out of here, guys, I want some predictions. Who wins the series and why, Mitch Williams?
I'm going to take the Philadelphia Phillies for the simple fact that I don't think a pitching staff as good as even San Francisco's is can hold this lineup down over a 5-game series. I think they're going to hit, and I believe that they're going to come out and force the San Francisco pitchers into the middle of the plate, and it's going to hurt them.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with Philadelphia as well. I'm not so sure it's going to be 5 games. I think probably 6. The big difference for me, the Philadelphia Phillies' ability to run the bases, almost twice as many stolen bases as the San Francisco Giants, and their athleticism on defense.
All right, so 2 guys for the Phillies, 1-6 and 1-5. So, guys, we are done for now. We will see you with complete post-game coverage, but right now we're going to toss it over to the guys in the broadcast booth. You're okay with that?
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and do that? I've been known to miss the stadium.
Okay, so we'll send it all the way across the field to the guys who will take you home tonight, Joe Buck and Tim McCarver. Guys, it's all yours.
Chris, thanks. Good job, guys. Pitching. That's all anybody's been talking about coming into this NLCS, and why not? I mean, you could make the case that there are 6 number 1 type starters going at it in the first 3 games of this series. Tonight doesn't get any better. Roy Halladay coming off that no-hitter against Cincinnati in his postseason debut, taking on Tim Lincecum, who the next night had a 14-strikeout, 2-hit shutout that he put together against the Atlanta Braves. So now they go head-to-head. And now the question for him is, and that him is Tim McCarver, how in the world does anybody score runs, and who has the edge offensively coming in?
I think what gives you a reason to watch other than a great pitching matchup? As far as power is concerned, evenly distributed. Both teams can hit the ball out of the ballpark. Defense, slight edge to the Phillies. But the thing that sets the Phillies apart, as Eric Caro said, is their base running. Very opportunistic. Charlie Manuel telling us a little while ago that I'll guarantee if we get the right guys on, we're going to run. We're going to run. He emphasized that. As far as the Giants are concerned, consider this. One of only 2 National League teams this year that beat the Big 3. That's Halladay, Hamels, and Oswalt. No easy task.
Halladay is part of the matchup tonight, and it's the head-to-head battle that proves that good pitching can come in all shapes and sizes. It's Game 1, Round 1, coming up. In a city known for one of the great boxing stories comes one of baseball's greatest pitching matchups. The 2-time defending NL Cy Young versus the odds-on favorite for this year's award. In one corner at 5'11", Tim the Freak Lincecum. In the other corner at 6'6", Roy Doc Halladay. Both pitchers have been dominant this postseason. Tonight, they exchange blows. It's an epic showdown. NLCS Game 1. Next. or more on car insurance. By Taco Bell, think outside the bun. And by MasterCard, the preferred card of Major League Baseball. We are in Philadelphia. The wind is not a factor like they thought it might be. 57 degrees, 10 miles per hour, but that is far less of a concern at the moment than we thought at the start of the day. It's the Taco Bell starting lineup. Taco Bell, think outside the bun. And who better to bring you the lineups for this heavyweight fight than Philadelphia's own Michael Buffett.
Welcome, baseball fans, to the city of brotherly love. Tonight, Major League Baseball, by way of Fox Sports, presents a call to arms. It's game one of the National League Championship Series. It's baseball's battle on South Broad Street. Introducing the challengers from the city by the bay, led by defending Cy Young Award winner Tim the Freak Lincecum. And in his corner, Andres the Raging Bull Torres, slugger Aubrey Huff, and Rookie of the Year candidate Buster Posey. It's your National League West San Francisco Giants. And in the East corner, led by the no-hit pitching arm of Roy Doc Halladay, with offensive punch from Jimmy J. Roll Rollins, Chase Longball Utley, and Ryan Tate Measure Howard, the reigning, defending National League champion, Philadelphia Phillies. So now, for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready for baseball!
It's got you giggling over there.
I love it. Gotta love it.
You gotta start it the right way. What should be, and we all know this. I mean, with all the talk that there's been about Halladay and Lincecum in this matchup, and a battle for the ages, and here it is. We've all been waiting for something like this. It's going to be 8-7 in the fourth inning somehow, some way. Although the numbers are just staggering for Halladay and Lincecum. There are the numbers during the regular season. He led baseball with his 21 victories. His ERA solid at 2.44 his first year in the National League.
And what does he say today in the Philadelphia Inquirer? This beats fishing. I should say it does. He throws strikes on his terms. That's primarily the reason for his success. And he, of course, is a study in concentration.
All right, tonight's opening pitch is sponsored by Budweiser, official beer of the first inning. The beer that starts with a full flavor and ends with a crisp, clean finish. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds. What has Roy Halladay done in his first season in a Philadelphia uniform? Well, we know that he won 21 games. We know that he's 9-1 in his last 11 here at home. His third career 20-win season. He's always good to pitch deep into games. 219 strikeouts. He led the world with 9 complete games. He pitched a perfect game at the end of May, and he pitched a no-hitter in his postseason debut against Cincinnati.
And that's the key thing, I think, as far as Roy is concerned, Joe. He is pitching in his first postseason.
Andres Torres will try to get it started for San Francisco. The combination of Torres and Sanchez were a combined 125 average and an on-base percentage 200 in the division series. Line drive into center field. Victorino. That ball hung up just enough for Shane Victorino. Got a good jump and made the catch a little over waist high. Brings in Freddie Sanchez, a former batting champion with the Pittsburgh Pirates. Now playing second base and batting the 2 spot for Bruce Bochy and the Giants. There's Boch in his 4th year. In the corner of the dugout for San Francisco. Strike 1 from Halladay. Strike
2.
In the no-hitter, Roy Halladay threw 25 of 28 first pitch strikes, and he's thrown 2 in a row tonight.
Easy into right center. Victorino to his left. 2 out. How about the defense for Philadelphia? They can catch it. 4th best fielding percentage in the National League during the regular season. Made 3 errors in the division series. Ibanez, Victorino, Worth, Polanco, Rollins, Utley, Howard, Carlos Ruiz, who has been a postseason star for the Phillies, catching Halladay. And that combination has been terrific. Strike 1 to Aubrey Huff, who led the Giants with his 26 home runs, 86 RBIs. Hit 290 in his first year in San Francisco. Ball 1.
Talking about Roy Halladay and his first postseason, Aubrey Huff, prior to this postseason, had played 1,479 games without ever getting here, and here he is.
That is down the right field line foul. Strike 2. Rollins. 8 pitches, 3 outs. Bottom of the first. With 18,000 agents, we've got the best lineup in the game. By AT&T, Rethink Possible. By E-Trade. And by Unstoppable, November 11th. Only in theaters. Well, here's the other guy. From the 6'6", 230-pound right-hander to the 5'11", 163-pound right-hander, Tim Lincecum, who is
every bit as dynamic as the other guy.
There is no question about it. Roy Halladay is so smooth in his delivery, and Tim Lincecum so violent with his.
Tim Lincecum is the kind of guy that it would be worth buying a ticket just to come watch pitch.
No question about it.
And first pitch swinging into right. Slow start, but back to grab it is Cody Ross. A loud start. Victorino drove one to the track in right center.
There's that violent delivery we were talking about. Does he have the best changeup in the game? In my opinion, yes. His breaking ball, a slider, more of a slider, he'll improve it.
Here's Polanco.
You know, we saw Jay Bruce of the Cincinnati Reds lose a ball in the lights, and it looked like Cody Ross got a very late jump on that ball in right field.
That one sizzles in there for strike one to Polanco, who's been playing with bone chips in his left elbow this season. Just turned 35. Placido has struggled in the postseason since he hit just under .530 for the Tigers in the ALCS back in '06. But he is solid. A good ball player and a pop-up into right center. To his left is Torres, 2 out. How about the Giants defense? They were third best in the National League in fielding percentage as a group. Burrow, the longtime Philly in left, Torres and Ross join him out there with Fontenot, Uribe, Freddie Sanchez, and Aubrey Huff. Catcher is the rookie Buster Posey, and the unique pitching delivery of Tim Lincecum is on the mound for the Giants. Here's Utley. Utley has 10 career postseason home runs. Big offensive production out of the second baseman, and they have grown accustomed to that here in Philadelphia. Ball one. Final in from Arlington, 7-2 in that series. The ALCS is tied at a game apiece. So far between Sabathia last night and Phil Hughes this afternoon. Their starting pitcher's ERA is at 13.5 through 2 games. Andy Pettit, a guy named Cliff Lee, who was 4-0 for the Phillies last year during the postseason, getting ready to hook up on Monday in Game 3. That's foul. It's 2-1.
When you look at Tim Lincecum, you just cannot help but think how fascinating a study he is. As you said, 163 pounds. And with his delivery, that violent delivery we were talking about, I don't think any pitcher in the major leagues carries their hands any lower than Lincecum. They're right around the thighs, the upper part of the thighs.
Utley flips one into left. Well hit. Back is Burrow, almost up against the wall. Halladay threw 7 pitches. Lincecum throws 7 pitches, and we go through 1. No score in Philadelphia. Well, here is Buster Posey, who is the first rookie catcher in big league history to back clean up in a postseason game. That happened during the divisional series, and here he is carrying on in the NLCS. The first pitch is up and in ball one, and I get it. Hayward was great for the Atlanta Braves, great from the start. He was dependable. He played hurt at times. He was productive. But for what Posey meant in his defensive position, I can't think of a more impactful rookie to come along in a while any more than Buster Posey.
I see what you're driving at, that he's the Rookie of the Year choice of yours. He certainly is of mine. He didn't come up until May 29th. That, coincidentally, is the same day that Roy Halladay pitched a perfect game against the Florida Marlins. And here they are facing one another.
And isn't that the same day that Burrow went deep here in Philadelphia?
Right.
In his return with the Giants. That one floats inside and the count 3-1. The 3-1 from Halladay on the inside corner, full count. Said going to break Halladay through 7 in the first. He threw 8, and now he has a full count. A tailing pitch to Posey. Here's a 3-2. 1 away.
The crowd may as well continue applauding. Different deal tonight, huh, Pat?
Kind of got the Donovan McNabb welcome back. They cheered him at first, and then he went deep, and then they booed him. But it's all in good fun.
Oh, yeah. Pat the bat.
First overall pick back in '98. Takes a strike. He has meant so much to this San Francisco team since being released in May from Tampa Bay. Had a rotten start with the Rays. They cut him loose. He was out of baseball for 10 days and then signed on with basically the hometown team for him growing up in Northern California. And here he is with the Giants, and he hit 18 home runs. Drove in 51, and he's become a veteran presence for San Francisco. 1-1. Good breaking ball, strike 2.
Is what happens when you're ahead in the count. You get an experienced hitter to swing at a pitch a foot outside. Not even close.
And there is nothing straight coming out of the right hand of Roy Halladay.
No.
With 2 out, here's Juan Uribe, who hits one in the air to center. Victorino grabs it.
The only thing straight about Roy Halladay is his talk.
And after an inning and a half, here in game 1, they keep coming to the plate. They keep turning around, heading back to the dugout. Tonight's game on Fox is sponsored by Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds. Home plate umpire tonight is the crew chief, Darrell Cousins. He's joined by Dan Iasonia at first, Ted Barrett, Wally Bell, Jeff Nelson down the left field line, and Tom Halia down the right field line. And off we go. Howard into the gap, left center field. Ryan Howard with an extra base hit to start the second for Philadelphia. A lot of first pitch swinging by Philadelphia early, and Howard plugs the gap.
Well, when Ryan Howard is thinking the other way, the front shoulder stays in there. It makes complete sense. Looking for the fastball, gets it, rifles it to left center field for the first hit of the ball game.
And now Jason Worth, a free agent to be and likely winding down his days with the Philadelphia Phillies. He's been a postseason performer here in Philly. He's been the right-handed thump in this lineup. Hit 27 home runs during the regular season. Lincecum from the stretch, ball one. Phillies trying to get an early run for Halladay. There's strike one. Lincecum, the two-time Cy Young Award winner, won it in 08. His first full year in the big leagues, won it last year. Has been on a roll since the start of September, and he just changed up on Worth, and Jason ended up on the knee, strike two.
Well, that is a wicked changeup that gets a hitter to genuflect.
Man. 11 postseason home runs for Worth. The 1-2. Fought it off.
That's the thing about Jason. He is not the ideal Philly to have up there with a runner on second and nobody out because he strikes out a lot. He struck out 147 times this year. However, he is a guy who strikes out a lot, but it's a good two-strike hitter. 85 two-strike hits, second to Ichiro in the major leagues.
The 1-2. There's a strikeout that Lincecum needed, one away. And his first of the night. Struck out 14 against Atlanta, game one of the division series.
Well, the first pitch from Lincecum misses inside the change. But watch this changeup. And he fouls one off to the side, and Lincecum gets him, and Worth fails to move the runner. There's that violent turn that we were talking about. Taught by his father, Chris, at age 4. You can believe it.
Now Rollins, who had a down year any way you look at it. He suffered 2 leg injuries, the most recent one a hamstring. But see what he did in the divisional series, just 1 for 11. The career lows basically across the board. Played only 88 games. Former National League MVP. Lincecum gives a look back at Ryan Howard. Rollins is 3 for 18 in his career against Tim Lincecum. Did hit .311 with runners in scoring position during the regular season. Ball 2. A lot of reports about a blister issue. The middle finger of the pitching hand of Tim Lincecum, according to his manager Bruce Bochy, that is not an issue at all.
And Tim is not throwing like it's an issue.
That's foul. 2 balls and a strike. Bruce Bochy Has spent 16 seasons as a Major League Baseball manager. He was in San Diego from 1995 to 2006 and took the Padres to the World Series against the Yankees in 1998. Respected baseball man now in his 4th year as manager of the Giants. 55 years old, former big league catcher. 2-1 pitch. That's on the outside corner. The home plate umpire forgot the count.
He called strike 3. That's right.
It's just 2-2. And the home plate umpire rings up Rollins. But it's 2 balls, 2 strikes.
It was strike, but not 3.
Broken bat, little flare down the right field line, foul ball. So a new bat for Jimmy Rollins, and he will deal with Lincecum, who was the 10th overall selection in 06 by the Giants. Here's that strike 2. That's the foul ball, which kept it 2-2. And the next for Rollins is popped up. On the right side of the infield, Sanchez wants it. 2 out. As Lincecum tries to get around that leadoff double. So Rollins can't do it for Philadelphia. It's up to Raul Ibanez, who's been hitting over 300 since the All-Star break.
I know you fans out there are used to, with 2 outs and a runner on at second base and first base open, used to hearing announcers talk about pitching around the hitter with a right-hander coming up, but not with the right-hander who's on deck with the Phillies. Lincecum will go after Ibanez.
That misses inside. The guy on deck is Carlos Ruiz, who has been the most consistent postseason producer for Charlie Manuel and the Phillies last 3 years. He has really settled in this season. That misses inside. It's 2-0. Runner at second, 2 out, and that's slapped down the left field line, slicing foul. 2-1. Tim Lincecum, if you can believe it, guy with his pitching stuff, had a month of August he'd like to forget. 0-5 and ERA over 7.5. Changed his workout routine, started running stadium steps to build up his legs. Something Roy Oswalt would have told him about if he asked him. A smaller type power pitcher who needs that leg strength to get the drive, to get the velocity on his pitches.
I'll tell you, Joe, when he was going into his glove, he did raise that middle finger and look at it a little suspiciously. That's what I got out of that last shot.
Here's a 2-1. Ibanez into center field. Back is Torres in front of the track, and Lincecum gets around the leadoff double. We go into the 3rd here in Philadelphia. Giants coming up, no score. First pitch is a strike, and we're underway in the top of the third inning. So far, no base runners for San Francisco. Halladay has struck out 2. And he misses with a fastball. The count evens a ball and a strike. It's Fontenot now, who was picked up from Chicago, and Cody Ross, who started the season with Florida. The pitcher, Lincecum, broken bat. Utley takes his time and gets the out. So Roy Halladay has to be thinking, what's the big deal about pitching in postseason baseball? Throws a no-hitter, was 1 walk away from a perfect game. 2-out 5th inning walk to Jay Bruce. Second no-hitter in postseason history. Locked up with Tim Lincecum here in Game 1 of the NLCS tonight. There's a strike to Cody Ross.
Yeah, Roy's got to be thinking the hitters are not as good in postseason as they are during the regular season.
0-1 the count.
7 out of 8 first pitch strikes.
It's outside. That was a creative way of getting the most for your Cliff Lee souvenir T-shirt. Here's the 1-1. That is hit well into left field. Back at the wall, and Cody Ross has gone deep to put the Giants on top. First hit against Halladay in the postseason is a home run, and Cody Ross has his second of the postseason for San Francisco.
What a division series he had also. Driving in 2 runs in Game 4. 1 with a home run, an inside fastball, and Cody Ross strikes again. Picked up by the Giants in late August, in part to prevent San Diego from declaring him on waivers. Boy, has he ever delivered.
Yeah, in that Game 4, he broke up a no-hitter by Derek Lowe with the home run, then came back and got the game-winning hit. Now Tim Lincecum gets to bat with the lead, and Johnny Vandermeer is safe. There will be no back-to-back no-hitters put together by Roy Halladay. Vandermeer did it back in 1938 for the Cincinnati Reds against the Boston Bees and then the Brooklyn Dodgers. Here is an 0-2 to Lincecum. And a swing and a miss, a spin, and he'll go take a seat. 2 out. Most home runs in the National League for the Giants since the 1st of August. This is a team that came into the postseason with 92 wins during the regular season. Best record in the NL belongs to Philly, 97 wins, ball 1 inside to Torres.
First time in Philadelphia's history that they have led the majors in wins. They did it with 97 this year.
Here's a 1-0. 1 ball, 1 strike. Halladay gave up 24 home runs during the regular season, and Cody Ross, who hit 14 his time with the Marlins and with the Giants, has his second of the postseason. It's a 1-2 count now on Andres Torres. Two and 2.
Fear the beard is Brian Wilson, the short reliever. And it's taken San Francisco by storm, along with a lot of other things. They love this ball club. But I was thinking that if you're going to fear the beard of Cody Ross from an offensive standpoint should be feared. He has had 5 straight good games.
A little of the fire taken out of this crowd with the home run and the 2-2. Strikeout number 4. But here in the third, Cody Ross goes deep. sponsored by Ink. The new business card from Chase. Make your mark with Ink. Tonight's aerial coverage brought to you by DirecTV. Get movies a month before Netflix with DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV. Get movies a month before Netflix with DirecTV. Carlos Ruiz is first up. He'll be followed by Halladay and then Shane Victorino. With the Giants leading 1-0. 2-0. We had a chance to visit with Dave Righetti, the pitching coach for the Giants, during the last break. Ruiz on 2-0, flies one into right. Back at the wall. This game is tied.
Strong enough to hit it out the other way.
That means the number 8 hitter in each lineup has just gone deep. Here in the third inning as Halladay takes strike one. I mean, you talk about a guy who just lights up in postseason. That's his 4th career postseason home run. Now Halladay, who had a base hit against Cincinnati in the divisional series, is on with nobody out. Back to the home run.
Letter high fastball, outside partner. I mean, here's your number 8-hole hitter batting .302 for the year.
First time he's been over 300. He's settled in, has a new contract. And he is a confident hitter, especially this time of year. Now Victorino with Halladay running at first, nobody out. Ball one outside, and Lincecum is falling behind a lot of hitters here early. Got away with it in the first. Did not get away with it against Ruiz. A 2-0 pitch, hit out to right. Strike one. Carlos Ruiz, you just look at his series in the postseason. 07 hit .333 in the divisional series. .308 that year. Two rounds later, he's done a great job handling the pitching staff. Halladay, obviously, in particular. Victorino, strike two. Hit .333 last year against the Yankees in the World Series. .375 against Tampa Bay when the Phillies won it all in 08.
Carlos Ruiz has the highest on-base percentage of any catcher in Major League history.
Here's a 1-2. To the second baseman, Sanchez, out at second and out at first. Well turned by Sanchez and Uribe with a guy like Victorino running.
Yeah, very tough to turn a 4-6-3 double play. A good feed by Sanchez and Uribe with a strong throw to just get him.
That'll bring in Polanco. Placido fly to center his first time. Now 1 for his last 27 during the postseason. Takes the ball outside. Polanco in his second tour with the Philadelphia Phillies when he first came here from St. Louis. He's part of the deal that sent Scott Roll into the Cardinals. He's outside again. It's 2-0. Should be extra bases. It will be. Polanco will cruise into second base with a 2-out double.
again, falling behind, a 2-0 fastball. And the reason that falling behind is so dangerous to big league hitters is you give them a predictable pitch. You give a good big league hitter a predictable pitch, he's going to hit it hard.
And here's a good big league hitter, Chase Utley. So far this postseason, 3 for 12. His 47 games. Had to undergo right thumb surgery for a hand-first slide in second base. This was a Philly team that was just racked with injuries during the regular season. Yet they plowed through it. Ended up winning the NL East running away. 6 games over Atlanta.
Yeah, Utley broke that hand on June 28th in Cincinnati, and the Phillies fortunately have a chance to get all of their guys back healthy for the postseason.
Here's a 1-0 pitch. Skips in again. It's 2-0 from Lincecum. It's interesting, you know, we talked to Dave Rigetti if time allows at some point to play the interview, but I'll tell you the first thing he talked about was that the Phillies obviously were going up there trying to swing early the first time through the lineup. So he said we'll make adjustments now. They're being patient. They're getting ahead on the count as that hits the outside part of the strike zone to make it 2-1 to Utley.
Well, a battery, a catcher and a pitcher have to work good lineups, good hitting lineups, and certainly that's the case with the Phillies. You have to work them differently the second and third time through. What happened originally will not necessarily continue to happen.
Counts 3 balls and a strike with Ryan Howard on deck. A 1-1 game. Two on, 2 out. First walk of the night. And Lincecum is hot. He didn't get that call for strike 2.
Tim thought it was high enough, and it looked like a home plate umpire Darryl Cousins has been squeezing Lincecum tonight. There have been several pitches that have upset him, and I think that's why Bruce Bochy's out there right now.
Now the young catcher Buster Posey meets with Sanchez and Uribe. Middle infielders before he heads back behind home plate. 2 on, 2 out for Ryan Howard, who could give the Phillies their first lead of the night. Guy who's averaged 135 RBIs over the last 5 years. Ball 1. No player has hit more home runs against Lincecum than number 6 for the Phillies, Ryan Howard. Two and 0 again. Saw that shift on the infield with Freddie Sanchez in shallow right. Dangerous pitch for Lincecum here. Howard unloaded. Strike 1.
Here's that pitch that Tim Lincecum wanted, the 3-1 pitch to Chase Utley, called low by Darryl Cousins. And then Bruce Bochy went out there, and he's just protecting his pitcher under those circumstances.
Here's a 2-1. That was missed, and the runners move up to second and third. So it was not a foul tip, and the runners advance, and now a hit could mean 2.
It might have been a cross-up. When a catcher is down that low and he gets a high fastball, we used to say if you're looking for the local and you get the express, it can take your head off. But I think that was a cross-up by Lincecum to Buster Posey.
a pass ball to move the runners up. And a 2-2 count on Ryan Howard. Big strikeout for Lincecum. It's his second of the night. And through all that frustration, the only damage by Ruiz. The number 8 hitters go deep. Tied at 1 after 3. Philadelphia. Insurance for auto, home, and business. Buy the new Ford Fiesta. It's a pretty big deal. About some more baseball. As we go to the 4th inning, Halladay spins one in. And I'll tell you, this is a tight strike zone. And if Lincecum was unhappy in the bottom of the 3rd, that pitch barely missed off the outside corner by Halladay. Now strike 1 as Sanchez comes up empty. The 1-1 pitch. 2 balls and a strike. Sanchez, then Aubrey Huff, then Buster Posey. A 1-1 game. That's a little farther outside, 3-1. We told you that we visited with Dave Rigetti. Our producer Pete Macheska has said we're going to have time after this Sanchez at bat to give that to you. It was short and sweet. Here's a 3-1. In the air to left center. It'll hang up for Victorino. Here's Dave Rigetti. And the first question was about what Rigetti and the Giants are seeing from Lincecum here tonight.
Well, he's throwing strikes and they're swinging, so it looked like they were going to come out and make sure they didn't get behind in the count and they're ready to swing. So we'll make adjustments along the way. But, you know, he looks free and easy, and he's throwing the ball downhill.
We saw him checking his middle finger on his right hand, Dave.
Always.
Oh, he does. He does that as that force of habit.
It is, Tim. He's been doing it since he got here. He's always doing that. Yeah.
So the blister's not an issue at all?
No, sir. Not now.
Thanks for your time.
All right, guys.
Thanks, Reg.
Okay.
Dave Righetti, who was a terrific Major League pitcher, now in his 11th year with the Giants. As Huff lines one past Ryan Howard into right. Over to cut it off is Worth. Good play to hold Aubrey Huff to a one-out single.
In our opening, we talked about the edge that the Phillies have defensively. They have two of the best outfielders in the business in Worth in right field and Victorino in center. Good play by Jason Worth.
Now 1 on 1 out for Buster Posey. Who hit .305 in 108 games during the regular season. But I think more importantly, I know you will agree, as Posey fouls one off to the right for whatever he did with the bat. In some respects, now he's a cleanup hitter, so it's a bigger deal. But you have to look at a young catcher in an organization that cleared Benji Molina out of the way, trading him to Texas, and they handed a terrific pitching staff to a rookie, and he came through with flying colors.
Knowing he was ready, spending the first 2 months of the year at Fresno, the AAA affiliate. And that was very important because Steve Decker, the former Major League catcher, is the manager there. So they nursed and rehearsed Buster Posey. They found out he was ready. Bruce Bochy was keeping in contact with Steve Decker through those first 2 months of the season. They knew he was ready, made the trade, and here he is.
That's in the dirt. Sean Dunston, who is a coach for the Giants, said Buster Posey is an old soul. He's in his young 20s, but he acts like he's been here, and none of the young guys for the Giants, Posey included, are nervous or scared about this situation at all. There's a 1-2. Chased it. 2 out. Strikeout number 5 for Halladay. Here's Pat Burrell. When the Phillies won it all back in 2008, Pat Burrell was in the lead wagon for the victory parade here in Philadelphia with his dogs. He had the most seniority on the team as he gets one off the end of the bat, trying to drop it into right. He has done that. Going first to third is Aubrey Huff. It's first and third with 2 out as Worth runs it all the way back in.
You don't see that too often. A right fielder running a ball back in the infield, but that was the proper play. You don't want to commit. Ball off the end of the bat by Pat. Lands in front of Worth. And Jason correctly thought, well, instead of throwing it, I'll just run it in. Good play.
Just to finish on Burrell, he took out a full-page ad thanking the Philly fans for their support during his time here. I mentioned he was the #1 first overall pick in '98. They called him Pat the Bat coming into pro ball. And so there were a ton of expectations for Pat Burrell. His quote coming into the series was, "It was never up to me to decide if I lived up to the expectations." That was up to these fans, and they let him have it from time to time. He would go on hot streaks. He hit some important home runs. He did so in the division series and the clincher over Milwaukee back in 2008. But he never seemed to be fully appreciated, even though he was a part of a world championship back in 2008. Now here he is as a visitor with the Giants. His hit has put runners at the corners with 2 out as San Francisco tries to regain the lead. One ball, 1 strike.
More and more over the last 3 or 4 years, we have seen first basemen holding runners on unnecessarily. And that comes from the bench. But there are a lot of first basemen. Pat Burrell is not a fast runner, so the point is, why hold him on? There are a lot of first basemen who do not like playing behind the runner.
Strike 2 on Uribe.
They can't get as good a jump as they normally do, so they prefer to hold them on.
Uribe had his best power year, 24 home runs, 85 RBIs, but he has struggled. Since the 1st of July, hitting .220. 248 for the season. 2-2 pitch. Broken back, ground ball to Rollins to second to end the inning. Bottom of the 4th, coming up in Philadelphia. There are the bats coming up for the Phillies, tied at 1. So far, Lincecum, after that 14 strikeout night, has K'd 2. One of them is Worth, which followed a leadoff double by Howard in the second. He takes ball 1. Ball 2. Worth and Rollins, then Ibanez. Ball 3.
Maybe hitting here.
Didn't get a chance. A 4-pitch walk. Jimmy Rollins coming up. Here is our E-Trade stock watch. Cody Ross, his stock is going up 10. 4 hits, a home run, 3 RBIs in the division series win over Atlanta. Jimmy Rollins only 1 hit in 11 at bats in the division series. Now 1 for 12 this postseason. Popped up his first time. This is a dynamic player for Philadelphia, Jimmy Rollins, who is diminished by injury. According to his manager, Charlie Manuel still doesn't trust that his hamstring is sound and totally healthy.
Also a running situation here, Joe. Not from Rollins, of course. He's the hitter, but Jason Worth at first base. The thing about Tim Lincecum, 27 of 30 stole bases against him this year. And it's very difficult when he's affected because he holds his hands so low. So if he comes to first base, he's got to bring his hands up and then throw to first.
You can hear Davey Lopes, who was a tremendous base stealer in his years in the big leagues. Longtime Dodger. He is the first base coach for Charlie Manuel, and he controls the running game.
He may have more effect on the running game than any first base coach in the big leagues.
Good pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike. In fact, the sign is given. However, Davey Lopes wants to give it either verbally, taking his hat off, a little wave off to the side, whatever it is to the guy at first base, whether to run or not.
Charlie Manuel gives Davey Lopes total autonomy.
There's a delayed strike call by the home plate umpire, strike 2. Charlie Manuel in his 6th season with the Phillies. Won it all in 08. Now very respected here in Philadelphia. And a guy who told us before the game he does not feel the need to put his imprint on every game. He lets his guys play. Strikeout of Jimmy Rollins, 3rd of the night for Jim Lincecum.
Good changeup out of the strike zone. Mitch Williams talked about it in our pregame comments. Bruce Bochy says that is not a splitter, but boy, it certainly looked like
that's not a splitter. Whew. You asked him, or somebody asked him in our meeting. Yeah. I think it was Mitch.
Yeah.
He throws a split-fingered fastball, right? Bochy said no. If that wasn't a split-fingered fastball, I don't know what is.
What is, right?
So no, just a straight change, and then everybody who hit at the big league level, you, Karras, and others said, well, it acts like a split-fingered fastball.
That may be called a change, but that's a splitter.
Here's the 0-1. Ibanez takes it in the dirt, and the rookie blocks it.
You almost have to run in this situation. 1 ball, no strikes. There's going to be no pitch out. Worth seen his move so many times.
That's on the inside corner. Posey with a flinch behind the plate. Ball and a strike on Ibanez, who flied to center his first time up. To the second baseman might be. Sanchez flips and cannot turn it. Hard slide by Worth. Broke it up. Jason Worth got up and slapped his hands together. Happy with his effort going into the bag.
Absolutely. You got to be able to touch the bag when you take a middle infielder out of a double play. That was a late slide by Worth, but a very, very effective takeout. And he touched the bag. Very well done.
Uribe still almost got Ibanez, but Raul beat it. Now he's on for Ruiz. Big deal when you have a number 8 hitter like Ruiz, who has already proven he can pop one. He went deep to right his first time up last inning. Strike 1. Good fastball. Strike 2. Tim Lincecum was picked by the Cubs in the 48th round in 03, didn't sign. Picked by Cleveland the 42nd round in 05, didn't sign. He was 10th overall by the Giants in 06. Came up in 07. Has dominated. Certainly did in 08 and 09. Back-to-back Cy Young awards, and this year up and down, but since the 1st of September he's been terrific. Tough play. Ruiz running. Uribe got it. And Lincecum appreciates the effort by Uribe. Ross coming up. Second for the Giants in a 1-1 game. Went deep his first time. Back after this from your local Fox station. America, the official bank of Major League Baseball. Did you know, Tim, the answer to our trivia question, our AT&T trivia question?
No, I did not.
How can you not know the answer? Tim Lincecum struck out 14 in his postseason debut, postseason record for strikeouts in consecutive games by a pitcher. You caught him. Bob Gibson, 27. Struck out 17 Tigers in Game 1 of the '68 World Series for the Cards. Struck out 10 Boston Red Sox in Game 7 of the '67 World Series and 10 Tigers in Game 4 of the '68 series.
Bob has had knee replacement surgery and is recovering in Omaha, Nebraska.
What happened? I didn't see any of that.
Line drive to Victorino.
There you go. WW wasn't watching. Was reading. With one out, nobody on. Here's Cody Ross, who hit a home run, a no-doubter into left center his first time up. And Halladay drives him off the plate like Gibson would have. 93-mile-an-hour fastball. Get off my plate. Now outside, he misses 2-0.
All right, body language tells you anything, and it certainly does about a hitter. Cody Ross is hitting with an awful lot of confidence.
He shoots one into left field. You called it home run, his second of the night. A confident hitter, and he has gone deep twice. 2-1 San Francisco here in the fifth.
Wow.
A 2-0 pitch, and Cody Ross, he should be smiling. His hitting in September got him on the roster. He's taken over right field. They kind of fell into him, the Giants, and he has ripped two here tonight.
I'll tell you, that zone is almost the same zone that he hit that first pitch out. Inside, pop. Almost hit in the same place in the stands.
You mentioned it in passing, but now the story has to become even bigger with a guy like Ross. The Padres were trying to claim him off waivers from the Florida Marlins. The Giants didn't want San Diego to add to their offense. The team that rode their pitching most of the year and led the NL West the majority of the season, so they claimed him. He comes to the Giants. He hits well down the stretch in September, and now he's got 3 postseason home runs out of the number 8 spot.
What a move by Brian Sabean, the general manager of San Francisco.
Here's a 1-2. 2-2 from Halladay. That just missed, and now Halladay's wondering where the strike zone is. And Lincecum is the beneficiary of a tight zone. Now a 3-2. Still full. Lincecum had 7 hits during the regular season.
Joe, I think the complaints have come from both Lincecum and Doc Halladay on the low strike. It's the knee-high strike. And pitchers complain about that pitch more than any other because they need that pitch to be effective.
There's strike 3 and strikeout number 6 for Halladay. Back to the night for Cody Ross. Back in the 3rd inning.
Location, inside corner, first home run, last home run, inside corner, 2 in a row as the Giants take the lead.
Wow. That's been their offense tonight. A team that hit 162 home runs. 6th best total in the National League during the regular season. 4 fewer than the Phillies. 2-1 here in the top of the 5th with a 1-0 pitch to Torres, who is 0 for 2 now, 0 for 3 as Utley makes the play. Reads Bud Selig's name on the baseball and throws to first to end the inning. Halfway through it, Cody Ross, game 1 of the NLCS. He's got 2. 2-1 San Francisco. Phillies coming up. Tonight's game on Fox is sponsored by Chevrolet, the official vehicle of Major League Baseball. We go into the bottom of the 5th inning. Roy Halladay will lead it off as a hit tonight. And on the 29th, he pitched a perfect game against the Marlins. And Ken Rosenthal, who's with us, he made some friends after that start.
Yes, he did, Joe. He presented his teammates and other members of the organization with 60 Swiss-made watches. Now, the watches came in brown boxes that bore the inscription, "We did it together, thanks Roy Halladay." Now, obviously, in the division series, he nearly did it again with a perfect game, settling for a no-hitter instead. And his agent, Greg Landry, joked with him, "Hey, your teammates are upset with you. They wanted another perfect game, another watch." Pretty high standard, Joe.
Yeah, I'd say. That's ball 3. I believe ball 2 we have. 2 balls, 2 strikes. As that one barely missed from Lincecum. And now the next from the right-hander, swing and a miss, struck him out. So Halladay chased a couple of pitches in that at bat, and he becomes the 4th strikeout victim of Tim Lincecum. Talked to Charlie Manuel, the manager of the Phillies, prior to the game, and he said, it's one thing to say you want to get Lincecum into the strike zone. It's another when your heart's pumping and you're at the plate. He's revving it up on the mound. You want to jump at some of these pitches, and Halladay chased a couple out of the strike zone to start this 5th inning. 1 out.
That's a very good point, Joe, because Lincecum is not like Roy Halladay. He jumps at the hitter, and when a pitcher jumps at the hitter wants to jump back at him, and that's the worst thing you can do as a hitter.
That's in at the knees. 1 ball, 1 strike on Victorino, who's 0 for 2.
The 2 solid things about hitting is waiting and having quick hands. And when a pitcher like Lincecum gets you to jump out of your rhythm, then he's taken his first step to getting you out.
1 out, nobody on. 1-1 pitch is popped up right side behind first base. Shallow right now in foul ground. Sanchez has out number 2.
We talked about Tim Lincecum's windup, taught by his father at age 4 in Bellevue, Washington. There is tilt, dangle, that's the takeaway, and reach is the stride. The tilt, the dangle, the reach. And I guess the guy with, as you pointed out this summer, right before the All-Star game, when we were in Los Angeles, the guy with the greatest dangle was Sandy Koufax.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you picked up on that the minute you saw that picture being sold right outside the Dodger clubhouse.
Just the ability in the windup to have the arm back by his left ankle.
Yeah, it's extraordinary. The torque that Koufax got and the torque that Lincecum at 163 pounds gets.
Here's a fly ball into center off the bat of Polanco. A 1-2-3 5th for Lincecum into the 6th. 2-1 Giants. sports fan, you got to get DirecTV. And up above, our aerial coverage is brought to you by DirecTV. For the most sports, period, call 1-800-DirecTV. Glad you're with us tonight on Fox. It's game one. Pitching matchup has lived up to the hype. 2-1 the Giants lead thanks to 2 Cody Ross home runs. As we go into the 6th inning, it'll be Sanchez, Huff, and Posey. 2, 3, and 4 hitters for the Giants. 1-0 pitch. Fouled outside third. 1 ball, 1 strike. The Geico in-game box score. Down at the bottom, out of the number 8 spot, Cody Ross. He's done the damage. Strike 2 on Freddie Sanchez. Think about how this Giants team was remade during the course of the season and how some of those pieces are playing major roles for San Francisco down the stretch and now into the postseason. You compare tonight's lineup, the position players, to the opening day lineup. The only guy that was in the same spot was the first baseman, Aubrey Huff. Sanchez grounds out to Rollins, 1 away. Uribe was in the lineup, but he was at second base. They've added pieces to their bullpen. They added Jose Guillen down the stretch, who's not around the ball club anymore. Had a neck injury, and he never really got it together for San Francisco. But here's the one guy that was at his spot on opening day and is there here during tonight's game. Huff takes a strike.
I was talking to Larry Baer yesterday during the workout. Larry Baer is the COO and president of the San Francisco Giants, and he was so impressed with the job Brian Sabean has done in putting this team together.
They've added to their bullpen. Obviously, Ross, we've talked about, was a late addition. Fontenot, who's starting at third base now instead of Sandoval, picked up from the Cubs. Here's a pitch that misses. 1 ball, 1 strike. Bringing up Posey, trading Molina to Texas to clear room for Posey behind the plate. Utley to his left. 2 out. Base is empty behind Halladay with Posey coming up. Chevrolet and baseball have teamed up to give fans a chance to win postseason tickets or an all-new 2011 Chevrolet Cruze. Register at worldseries.com/cruise for your shot at the big prize. With the bases empty, here's Posey, who has struck out twice. And chases one here, strike 1. 6 strikeouts on the night for Halladay. Struck out 8 on 104 pitches in his no-hitter. He is working on 9 days of rest. The count evens at a ball and a strike. Lincecum on the other side working on 8 days of rest. That's into right center field. It'll get down. Worth cuts it off, makes a good play to his right, made a good one to his left earlier. It's a 2-out single. That'll bring in Pat Burrell. Burrell, who hit a 3-run home run in game 2 of the division series against Atlanta, singled his last time up as he just flared one into right center field. He's 1 for 2.
Pat, a very good low ball hitter.
Strike 1.
Funny how Pat Burrell going to the University of Miami and played with Jason Michaels, the outfielder for the Houston Astros, and Aubrey Huff.
That is a rocket foul. Strike 2.
Aubrey telling us yesterday that they were 3, 4, and 5 in that Miami Hurricane lineup. They were beaten twice in the College World Series. But he and Burrell very, very close, and they're back together again.
0-2 pitch. Ball 1. I don't think Burrell would have complained if he was rung up on this pitch. But it's 1-2. There's a shot into left center field. Back at the wall. Ibanez can't make the play. All the way around third from first is Posey. It's another run for the Giants, and it's 3-1 San Francisco. And now Halladay has something to say to the home plate umpire, Darrell Cousins, when he didn't get strike 3 on the previous pitch.
That was a breaking ball on the inside part. I guess Cousins called it low. And Pat Burrell delivers, given a reprieve after this pitch. Was it a strike? Darrell Cousins said no. The next one, Pat Burrell pops into left center field, and the Giants take a 2-run lead.
Ibanez had a chance at it and just missed it. Went a long way, but was in position to catch it. You can see Darrell Cousins say that ball was down. So now with a 2-run lead, a pinch runner is into the game. It'll be Shearholtz. The run for Burrell, and his night is finished. 2 for 3 with an RBI double now. With 2 out, Uribe takes a strike. Juan Uribe is 0 for 2. Here's the 0-1. Right back up the middle. Here comes Shearholtz. Victorino comes up throwing. Safe. Another run. Down to second. Safe. And Uribe stays on the bag. It's 4-1. And the Giants, who were underdogs coming into this series and dealing with Halladay, have their biggest lead here in the 6th.
As Shearholtz scores, pinch running for Pat Burrell. There was a play on him to throw up the first base side. Very good base running by Juan Uribe. One of the tough things is to be a pinch runner and have to bust it on the second pitch, as Shearholtz did. Good slide by Uribe.
And so it's 4-1 here in the 6th inning. It continues for Fontenot, who flares one foul down the left field line. So again, with 2 outs and 2 strikes on Burrell, a pitch called low for a ball instead of strike 3, a borderline pitch. Burrell follows with a double for an RBI. That's followed with 2 outs by a hit for an RBI by Uribe. It's been a different story tonight compared to game 1 against the Reds for Halladay. Counts 0-2 on Fontenot. Road team so far in the postseason here in 2010, 12-5. 11-4 in the division series. Yankees 1-1 in the ALCS, and now it's the Giants on the road here in Philadelphia, up by 3 in the 6th.
Go figure.
Here's the 0-2. Meanwhile, for the Giants, if they have an advantage later in a ball game, it's their bullpen. You're getting into that area now. The Giants had a 2.99 ERA in their bullpen, second best bullpen ERA in baseball. Another 0-2 to Fontenot. Another foul.
Any way you want to look at it, they've got one of the hottest pitchers, 2-time Cy Young Award winner, as you take a look at Brian Fear the Beard Wilson. So if Lincecum wants to go another couple of innings or use the pitch count and bring in the bullpen.
Here's Fontenot with a fly ball to center. That will do it for the Giants in the 6th, but they come up with 2. Halladay close to getting out of it. Burrell took advantage. RBI double. Uribe a base hit up the middle. 4-1 Giants into the bottom of the 6th here in Philadelphia. Introducing the Droid X, the next generation of does. Cody Ross moves from right to left. Nate Shearholtz is in the game now in right. He pinch ran and scored a run in the top of his 6th inning. Running for Burrell, and the first pitch from Lincecum is high for a ball to Utley. It'll be Utley, Howard, and Worth, the big bats for Philadelphia, to try and do something about what is now a 3-run deficit to Lincecum. 4-1. Tim Lincecum fires a strike. Lincecum is 37-0 when he has 4 or more runs of support in his career.
That's how much of an Everest climb the Phillies are facing these last 4 innings.
Utley's 0 for 1 with a walk, and now he hits one off the mound for a base hit. Uribe could not get it out of his glove, and Utley's on to start the 6th.
It was a very tough play off the heel of the glove of Lincecum, fielded by Uribe. Had he come up throwing right here, then he gets it. But a double clutch, and that allows Utley to beat the play.
It's an infield hit, and Ryan Howard will step in. 5th hit of the night against Lincecum for Philadelphia. Howard has one of them, a leadoff double in the 2nd. On the outside corner, strike 1. Phillies are playing with a 5-day layoff as they had a 3-game sweep over Cincinnati. With a 6-day layoff into both the 08 and the 09 World Series. They won in 08. Lost in 6 games last year to the Yankees. trail here 4-1 tonight, game 1 of the NLCS.
We had in our scouting report earlier in the game, is Tim Lincecum, does he throw the best changeup in the game? I think you're seeing it tonight. 3 in a row to Howard.
Brian Howard will tell you he does, as he's gone. Strikeout number 5 for Lincecum.
Robbing the hitter of his power. I'll tell you that changeup, if you do hit it, it's like making solid contact with cotton candy.
Jason Worth steps in 1 on 1 out. Worth is struck out and walked. Phillies looking for somebody to pop one. That's strike 1.
Think about that change, though. It just robs hitters of their powers, of their power. When the arms come forward, the body comes forward, you have nothing left with which to hit.
The 0-1. That one's upstairs. 1 ball, 1 strike. Lincecum trying to get through 6 and trying to get around a leadoff infield single by Chase Utley. 1 out. A 1-1. Fastball for strike 2. That's inside. Worth steps out.
What we mean when we say robbing a hitter of his power, we'll tell you after this pitch.
The 2-2. And here is Ryan Howard in the previous at bat.
This is what we were talking about, how the body and the arms go forward. And Ryan Howard, one of the more powerful men in the game, futilely swinging at that changeup. He got 3 in a row from Lincecum.
The 2-2 pitch. Worth hits one in the air to right center. Back at the track. It is gone. And a 1-run game in Philly.
So Worth gets his fastball and delivers.
th career postseason home run for Jason Worth. This crowd wants a curtain call from their right fielder as Rollins takes a strike. Chops one foul. A ho-hum reaction from Lincecum on that 2-run home run. Worth never gave him the curtain call. Fans settled back into their seats with a 1-2 count. Rollins with 1 out. Out of play. Jimmy Rollins is popped up, struck out. Chad Durbin gets loose. another foul. Our Geico in-game box score for the Phillies looks a little different after that home run by Worth. His first hit, a 2-run home run. The other run, a solo shot by Ruiz, leading off the third. Phillies have stranded 4. Lincecum has struck out 5. And now 6 as Rollins is thrown out by Posey. 2 gone. Here comes Ibanez. Aubrey Huff, the days leading into this NLCS, he's kind of a free spirit. So you look at Lincecum, he's got the long hair. Wilson's got the beard. This is just a bunch of idiots. We heard that before. Just crazy enough to pull this thing off, man. They've come in here taking a 4-1 lead. Now it's 4-3. Playing loose, working behind their ace. 1-0 to Ibanez, foul back.
First time we heard that word idiot, or idiots plural, connected to a ball club was the 2004 Boston Red Sox, a name pinned on the Sox players by Kevin Millar and Johnny Damon, who was then with the Sox.
I guess it's got a nice ring to it.
Well,
October.
I'll tell you, this giant ball club is easy to sell to the folks in San Francisco.
That's ball 3.
With all of the different characters on the team. Put together, as we said, by Brian Sabian. And quite a lot.
3-1 pitch to Ibanez. Off the end of the bat. Foul ball, full count. It's a 2-out walk. And the third walk handed out by Lincecum here tonight. And Rigetti gets on to the phone to the bullpen. Tomorrow it's a big day of sports right here on Fox. It's a Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader. Beginning with the Falcons taking on the Eagles right across the street here in Philadelphia. The Lions, Giants, Seahawks, Bears, Saints, Bucks. And it's America's game of the week as the Cowboys head to Minnesota to battle the Vikings. Coverage begins tomorrow at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. Here's ball 1 to Ruiz. We begin our coverage tomorrow with the Ford Fox NFL pregame show brought to you by the all-new Ford Edge. Drive 1 will be here tomorrow night for game 2. Following a long day of football on Fox. Wrap up a big day as that one hits the inside corner. Strike 1, Ruiz.
Hearing down at the on-deck circle, Roy Halladay has come out. But if Ruiz gets on, Charlie Manuel almost has to pinch hit for Halladay. That's why Durbin's warming up in the bullpen. And action with Madison Baumgartner and Ramon Ramirez for the Giants.
Here is a 1-2 pitch. Ruiz fights it off. Baumgartner is the scheduled game 4 starter for San Francisco. Joe Blanton, as it stands now, is the scheduled starter for the Phillies out in San Francisco. That'll be on Wednesday. Here's a 1-2. 2-2. This will be pitch number 101 for Tim Lincecum here, coming in the 6th with 1 on, 2 out. And he fools Ruiz to end the inning. Struck out the side, but after the Giants got 2 in the top half, in the bottom half, Jason Worth shoots one out to right center. It's 4-3 Giants. After 6, back after this from your local Fox station. You're watching Fox. Our friends at TBS are covering the American League Championship Series. Game 3 is coming up on Monday at Yankee Stadium at 8 Eastern. They play Monday night, Tuesday night. Have afternoon action and covered by TBS. Ernie Johnson, Darling, John Smoltz covering it, and that series is tied at a game apiece with Cliff Lee scheduled to pitch game 3 for Texas, taking on Andy Pettitte.
Cody Ross not looking for anything inside this time around. Everything away.
Scotty throws his bat at a pitch down and away. And the count 1-2, and the crowd gets on him. He has homered twice here tonight.
Well, there is not a pitcher alive. Once a hitter hits 2 inside fastballs, that's going to challenge you once again the 3rd time up. So Halliday's 2 strikes during this at bat. A fastball away and the slider away.
And now in the hole 1-2. 2-2. In the on-deck circle is Lincecum. There has been action for the Giants in their pen. Lincecum is over 100 pitches for his night. Struck out Ruiz after a walk to end the 6th. That's ball 3. 3-2. Four Giants home runs this postseason, and this man has 3 of them.
In his last 4 at-bats. Last 2 in Atlanta, first 2 tonight.
3-2 pitch from Halladay. Left side, Staying right there is Polanco. His throw, perfect. 1 out. Ross retired for the first time tonight.
So Cody Ross hit 2 home runs on inside fastballs the first time's up. So the third time up, everything is away and away and away. And he misses away. Now, middle in.
And with 1 out, nobody on, Lincecum rolls 1-2. Howard. 2 out. These fans are whistling at Lincecum. They did it earlier with a little wink to the long hair as he grounds out to the right side to the first baseman Howard for out number 2 here in the 7th. Out in front of it is Andres Torres, who's 0 for 3.
You don't have National League hitters whistling, I'll tell you that. They're whistling songs of woe.
2 quick strikes. Torres, who struck out in his second at bat, 2 for 19. Leading off for the Giants in the postseason. The 0-2. Ball 1. Ball 2. Halladay did not give up a hit tonight until 1 out in the 3rd inning when Cody Ross took him out of the park to left center. Broken bat pop up down the left field line. It is a fair ball. Torres a big turn, but well played by Ibanez. 2 out single.
That was a very, very good play by Raul Ibanez. Really busted that ball about a foot fair. Torres a fast runner. I got a feeling he's going to show how fast he is in the next 2 or 3 pitches. 26 stolen bases on the season.
Takes his lead at first with Sanchez at the plate. He was up there ready to hack. Strike 1. Freddie Sanchez 0 for 3. Fly to center, grounded out. The Giants still waiting for their top 2 guys to make something happen in this lineup. Flare hit by Torres. Starts and stops. A pitch down and away, ball 1. Here's a 1-1 pitch, shattered bat, pop up, out of play. Strike 2. Polanco picks up the bat. Sanchez gets a new one. The bottom of the 7th inning, it will likely be a pinch hitter for Halladay, then back to the top. Victorino and Polanco. Everybody gets on up.
Yeah, Freddie, you're using one of those maple bats, and it's not that they break more frequently, it's how they break. And you had an idea about how serious some of those broken bats are. Real problem for baseball.
Tyler Colvin, a terrific young player for the Chicago Cubs, was actually hit by a shattered bat.
Yeah.
It shut down the end of his season. Here's a 1-2, and Halladay may have just ended his night with a strikeout. That's number 7. And the Giants now have stranded 4 as we are through 6.5. Let's give you our game summary. Lincecum, there's his night. Halladay is through 7. Cody Ross with 2 home runs. Jason Worth just made this a 1-run game with a 2-run shot in the 6th. And now we join public address announcer Dan Baker for the introduction of God Bless America.
Ladies and gentlemen, please sing along with Jeff Galante as he performs God Bless America.
What a great rendition. 5th grader Jeff Galante, who's also performed at the White House, a shot of the Liberty Bell. Well done in front of a packed house here in Philadelphia. Into this bottom of the 7th we go. Major League Baseball. And by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Responsibility. What's your policy? Pinch hitter for Roy Halladay as we start the bottom of the 7th inning, and it's the rookie Dominic Brown who gets the nod. It was 3 out of 15 as a pinch hitter. Got the call up this season as the Phillies went through all those injuries, and he is the prize prospect in this organization as Ryan Madsen gets loose. Coincidence or not, at the time Dominic Brown was called up, it's when the Phillies started to take off. He's got great speed, and his fouls went outside first, strike 2. Brought up at the end of July. Shane Victorino went on the DL. They kept him in the major leagues the rest of the season, even though the at-bats became limited when the Phillies got healthy. Wanted him to be around this winning atmosphere as the count stays 1-2. Against the Giants as a pinch hitter against Guillermo Mota, he went deep, and now he grounds one to short. Slow out of the box in the first out. Here in the bottom of the 7th is Uribe. Takes care of him. A pinch hit home run against the Giants and Mota happened back in August for Brown, but here pinch hitting, he's out number 1 in the bottom of the 7th, and here's Shane Victorino.
Sometimes that happens to whether you're young or not. If you get jammed with a pitch, you kind of spin your wheels in the batter's box, can't get out of there, and that's what happened to Dom on that fastball by Lincecum.
Victorino's 0 for 3. Batting with 1 out, takes a strike. The Giant right-hander. Lefty is Lopez, the right-hander, Ramon Ramirez. There's that changeup. Strike 2.
You know, Lopez is getting warm in case Chase Utley and Ryan Howard come up this inning.
Victorino could not hold up. Another strikeout for Lincecum. That's number 8. Halliday got through 7 innings. He struck out 7. Now Lincecum will deal with Polanco as he tries to get through 7. He struck out 8.
Yeah, I don't know about you, Joe, but it looks to me like Lincecum put it in another gear in this here in the 7th inning. I think he's throwing harder than he did since about the 2nd inning.
Go back to that game 1 start of the division series, and you thought, okay, he's through 8. They'll go to their bullpen. Bruce Bochy, the manager, sent him back out there.
Yeah.
And he ended the night with a couple of strikeouts, 14 on his night. As a tight breaking ball is in for a strike to Polanco. Placido is 1 for 3.
Yeah, you don't know what's going to happen, but it looks to us like Tim has kicked it into a different gear.
That one stays up. 1-1. Big Bats will step to the plate again tonight for Philadelphia. It's a 1-run game. Giants lead 4-3. 2 out in the 7th, and that's strike 2. 90-mile-an-hour pitch rode right in on the hands of Polanco. Couldn't do anything with it. And there's the night. 112 pitches for the 26-year-old. Now the 1-2 to the shortstop. Uribe hangs back, guides it across. A 1-2-3 7th for Lincecum. Let's go to the 8th. Game 1. Giants lead 4-3. As a heavyweight fight coming in. And so far, the little guy, the freak, Tim Lincecum is on top. Ryan Madson takes over as both pitchers are through 7. It remains to be seen whether Lincecum will go back out there.
I don't think so.
New pitcher is Ryan Madson, strike 1 on Aubrey Huff.
Joe, the reason I say that is the Phillies have 2 left-handers coming up, Chase Utley and Ryan Howard, and I think this is the time for Lopez to come in, face a couple of guys, and use that good bullpen. I mean, Lincecum's thrown, what, 115 pitches now?
Yeah, he's up there over 100, and he would be tested in the bottom of this inning. Meanwhile, Huff takes low, 1 ball, 1 strike. Ryan Madson has been terrific down the stretch. Early in the season, out of frustration, he kicked a metal chair, broke a toe, and had to get healthy. And since he's come back and active, he's been lights out.
Yeah, that broken toe occurred at AT&T Park in San Francisco. We did a network game shortly thereafter, and Ryan apologized to his teammates. That broken toe, he has been out. He missed 2 months of the season. Broken big toe on his right foot.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Huff, who's 1 for 3. Single in his second at bat. Now off balance. Little flare into left, and Ibanez, a nice catch. 1 out. So Madson is healthy. We welcome you back inside the broadcast booth. And Madson, a big weapon in the bullpen. You ever kick anything and break anything out of frustration as either a player or an announcer?
As an announcer, yeah, I've done it recently.
All
no,
right.
I'm only kidding.
So now we're going to see these bullpens, and he's on record as saying that the Giants will go to the bullpen in the bottom of the 8th inning.
Well, I think so. I mean, it makes sense if you're going to. You've got the left-hander out there, even though no one is warming up right now. So we'll see what Bruce Bochy does.
This is Posey running, so Rollins takes advantage of it. No speed with Buster Posey, and Rollins didn't have to rush the play on the slow roller, 2 out. Now they're back and active in the Giants bullpen. Here's Shearholtz, who gets his first at bat after pinch running for Burrell in the 6th. He scored on a 2-out hit by Uribe. Those runs are the difference in this game, and those runs came right after a close pitch with 2 strikes to Burrell. It was called a ball. Burrell an RBI double, then Uribe followed. Single up the middle. Shearholtz takes ball 1. Two out, nobody on. Top of the 8th inning. And a new baseball for Ryan Madson.
Just looking at Javier Lopez, I remember when he came in to face all of those tough Yankee left-handed hitters when he was with the Boston Red Sox. Sure, Red Sox fans remember that. Javier's still getting guys out.
Ryan Madson has a terrific changeup. That was it. And the count 1 ball, 1 strike.
Very few breaking balls from Madson. Fastball, changeup.
Another swinging strike, another changeup, 1 and 2. Back to the Heat, 96. And it's a quick 1-2-3 inning from Madson. Big bats coming up. Here we go. Bottom of the 8th, 4-3 Giants. Game summary. We came in talking about 2 aces. We'll also have to talk about 4 of a kind. 4 home runs hit tonight. Cody Ross with a swing and a hop. Ruiz with 1 into right. Cody Ross again. And then Jason Worth popped 1 into right center field. And it's 4-3 as we go to the bottom of the 8th.
4 of a kind beats 2 aces, huh?
And now Lincecum's got the sweatshirt on. He's going to just watch with the rest of us. As Javier Lopez is the first out of the pen for the Giants. Utley first up for the Phillies. Strike 1.
You have to think left field if you're a left-handed batter against Javier Lopez. Because when he drops down, he makes you give a little bit. You really have to talk to that right shoulder of yours and think about hitting the ball to left field. Utley right on the plate.
Strike 2. Lopez was picked up by the Giants at the trading deadline from Pittsburgh. Part of a redo of sorts for this roster headed toward the back end of the season. There's the night for Lincecum, and he right now is on the good side. A 4-3 game. Utley grounds to second. Sanchez. 1 out. Ryan Howard coming up. Tonight's game on Fox is sponsored by BlackBerry and by Gatorade. Introducing the G Series. Gatorade has evolved. Here's Ryan Howard, who has a double, 2 strikeouts. That was against Lincecum. Hit 31 home runs during the regular season, 8th best total in the National League. As the closer for Philadelphia, Brad Lidge gets loose. With 1 out. Ball 1 inside.
Talking about thinking about left field, only when Ryan Howard thought about left field against Andy Pettitte last year in Game 6 of the World Series was he successful. Tremendous power the other way.
Strike 1. Dating back to 2008, the Philadelphia Phillies have won 7 consecutive Game 1s in postseason series. That ties a National League postseason record with the Atlanta Braves. As it is here, they trail by a run, bottom of the 8th inning. Ryan Howard is in the hole, 1-2. Ball 2.
When Javier Lopez drops down like that, you have a conversation, you rear end with your brain, trying to keep that shoulder in and keeping everything moving the other way. It's tough with this guy.
Here's a 2-2. Howard just stays alive. He was fooled and flicked at it. Got a piece. After Lopez was picked up by San Francisco, marked his 5th different team in 8 Major League seasons. He's 2-0 with an ERA of under 1.5 down the stretch for San Francisco.
And once again, here's a tough assignment for any left-handed batter.
Two pitch. 2 out in the inning. And 2 big left-handed threats are gone for Philadelphia as Ryan Howard strikes out.
And I would imagine that would be all for the left-handed specialist, Javier Lopez. Now double switch from Bruce Bochy.
So that'll be it for Lopez. He gets Utley on a ground out, strikes out Ryan Howard, and a double switch coming for San Francisco. The closer, Brian Wilson, coming in. We'll give you the double switch when we come back. That's ninth. Aubrey Huff is gone, and Bruce Bochy goes to the hammer here with 2 out. In the bottom of the 8th inning, Brian Wilson, who led baseball in saves with 48, and has the most saves in the major league since 2008, takes over. His first opponent, Jason Worth, has a home run tonight. 1-run lead for the Giants. That misses, ball 1. Tim already referenced the fear the beard.
Reminds me of Jeff Reardon. Great pitcher for the Montreal Expos back in the late 80s. Florida Marlins.
Inside for ball 2, 2-0. He's got a partial mohawk and a shoe-polished beard.
Yep.
Talking to himself out on the mound with a 2-0 count on Worth. He's hit 12 career postseason home runs. And now he's on with 2 out here in the 8th. Third straight time Jason Worth has reached base. And now it's Jimmy Rollins, and eventually the Phillies need to get Jimmy Rollins going with a bat. Usually the leadoff hitter, now down in the lineup. He's 0 for 3 tonight. 1 for 14 so far this postseason.
We talked about the possibility of Jason Worth running in the 4th inning when he was on first. He didn't. Probably will now.
Tying run with 2 out at first. Strike 1 to Rollins. Rollins against Lincecum, struck out twice, popped up. The 0-1. Ball 1. A 1-1 from Wilson. Ball 2. Check on Worth at first. To give you the numbers, Worth stole 13 during the regular season. He's added 1 in the postseason. He's been caught 3 times this season.
That is a move you don't normally see from a short reliever. Short relievers, generally speaking, do not have good moves to first base. That by Wilson, very good.
Outside, Posey gives Worth a look, and the count's gone to 3-1. Usually closers are easy to run against. They're power pitchers. They have to generate a lot out of the stretch. Takes them longer to get the ball to the plate. Rollins can sit on a pitch with a count 3-1. Full count. So Worth will go. There he goes, and Rollins fouls it away. Talking about the pitch with the home plate umpire Darryl Cousins as you look at the breakdown this season. With the bases empty, it was a breakdown, a 214 average for Jimmy Rollins. But better with runners in scoring position. In this case, a runner at first on the move, 2 out. Strikeout ends the inning. Wilson comes in, gives up a hit. Jimmy Rollins strikes out for the 3rd consecutive time. And we go to the 9th inning. Game 1, NLCS, 4-3, San Francisco. DirecTV for the most sports, period. Call 1-800-DirecTV. Shot of the home of the Philadelphia Eagles. 14 and a half hours from now. Here on Fox, the Atlanta Falcons will visit the Philadelphia Eagles. This has got to be the best sports complex in the country with these facilities right here.
Superb.
The Flyers play down the street as well. Same for the Sixers. It doesn't get any better than these two venues for baseball and football. Well-run facilities here in Philadelphia as the count goes to 0-2. Brad Lidge takes over. He's the closer for the Phillies. He has been on a roll since the 1st of August. Up and down before that. That's high. Ball 1-1-2. 18 of 19 in save opportunities. An ERA of 0.7. Trying to keep it a one-run game as we play the ninth. Uribe at the plate. He's 1 for 3. And he's 1 for 4 as he strikes out to start the ninth.
And that slider that made Lidge so valuable to the Phillies 2 years ago. He is right back with it. Dwayne Kuiper, one of the announcers and a good buddy from the San Francisco Giants, nicknamed this Giants offense torture.
Here's Fontenot with a line drive into center. Gets down for a base hit with 1 out in the ninth. His first hit.
And you can see what San Francisco Giant fans have been going through all year. They play a lot of tight ball games. Speaking of one-run games, the Phillies have the best record in baseball of one-run games. But losing here tonight.
Here's a guy who tonight has become public enemy number 1, Cody Ross. They boo him as he digs in. He has 2 home runs. That was against Halladay. Then the 2-out RBIs by Burrell and Uribe. Uribe RBI base hit up the middle with 2 out. The difference in the game right now. Strike 1. That made it 4-1. A 2-run shot in the bottom of the 6th by Worth made it 4-3, and that's where we are here in the ninth. Fontenot, a 1-out hit. There he goes. And somehow that ball missed Ross. A stolen base for Fontenot. And he's at second with 1 out. I don't know how A, the ball missed Ross, or B, how Ruiz caught it.
Well, we were just talking the last half inning when Wilson was in the game, how most short relievers don't have moves to first base. Fontenot knew that, had a tremendous jump to second base and stole the base easily.
It's only Fontenot's second steal all year. And this is a Giants team as Ross comes up empty, strike 2. It was last in the stolen base department during the regular season with only 55 steals.
That's 1 every 3 games.
So they don't run.
No.
What they do here, a hit could give the Giants a little breathing room here in the ninth. What a night Ross could have. He comes through here, ball 2-2. Dwayne Kuiper does the television with Mike Krukow for the Giants. Kuiper said Giants baseball torture. It hasn't been easy, but it's been a fun ride for the Giants and their fans through September, winning the West on the last day, 2 games over the Padres, and beating the Braves in 4 games in the division series. 2-2 pitch. And I can't think of anybody who does a better job, by the way, on the air than Kuiper.
Oh, they're wonderful. Wonderful. Tremendously popular in the Bay Area. By the way, a wild pitch is not out of the realm of possibility here. For Lidge to be effective, the slider's got to be down, and Ruiz has to be good.
There it is. Smothers it, ball 3. So a full count with Ishikawa on deck. Bottom of this ninth inning. Bottom part of the lineup. Banez, Ruiz. The first two up. Ross just throws the bat at it, and that ball's out of play as Ruiz does all he can.
Cody Ross has thrown his bat at 2 sliders tonight. One from Roy Halladay, where the bat went all the way down past third base, and then that slider from Lidge. I think Ross is going to see another slider right here.
Here's a 3-2. 2 on with 1 out. As Ross is on base for the 3rd time tonight. Coming into this series, Charlie Manuel made 1 switch to his roster. He took Greg Dobbs off the active list of years past, a very good left-handed pinch hitter, and added Kyle Kendrick as the long reliever to take the spot basically of Blanton, who's scheduled to start game 4 as it is now. The Giants toyed with adding a 3rd left-hander in the bullpen. They did not do it. Runsler was a possibility. That pitch is inside, and now the crowd gets on the home plate umpire as Ishikawa bats with 2 on 1 out. Out in front of that pitch, strike 1 on Ishikawa. Phillies will need a pinch hitter for the 3rd spot in the bottom of this ninth. They have a bench with Schneider, Valdez, Francisco, and Sweeney. No Dobbs. Hit Ishikawa, that'll load him up. So a hit by pitch, which follows a single and a walk, and the bases are loaded with 1 out for Andres Torres.
Had this ball not hit Ishikawa, you could make a case that the ball would have gotten by Ruiz. Travis appears to be all right. Hit him on the left foot, instep. But Lidge can really be wild with that slider. That has been his history.
So while they meet on the mound with Rich Dubey, the pitching coach, we look ahead to tomorrow night. And if you don't know much about Jonathan Sanchez, watch him tomorrow night. He has the ability to shut down any offense. He's been so good down the stretch for the Giants. Struck out 11 in his only start in the division series. And there's the right-hander Roy Oswalt, who had a hiccup in game 2 in the division series. He'll get the ball for Philadelphia. Bases loaded, 1 out for Andres Torres. Infield comes in. Strike 1.
Well, the reason for that is Torres, as we said, has 26 stolen bases. And if you play double play depth, you're not going to double him up. So the infield's forced to move in. Actually about halfway in the middle, Rollins and Utley, where they could get a double play. But it would have to be a ball right over the bag for Jimmy Rollins.
And strike 2. Torres, who has a flare hit, 1 for 4. Trying to give Brian Wilson and the Giants a little breathing room here in the ninth. Torres went around, and that's a big strikeout for Lidge. 2 away.
Going back to the slider, fine play by Ruiz to make the block. First base is occupied with less than 2 outs. The batter is automatically out, but had he not blocked it, of course, a run would have scored.
So now the bases are loaded with 2 out. Freddie Sanchez won the batting title back in 06. The Pirates stands in. Pablo Sandoval in the on-deck circle. That slider misses. The interesting thing about Sandoval being in the on-deck circle is that's the pitcher's spot.
Yeah, but if his spot has a chance to hit, they will have scored another run.
That pitcher is the closer, Wilson. There's a strike on the inside corner, 1 ball, 1 strike.
You wouldn't trade a run for a closer?
No.
No. Okay.
Here's a 1-1. Ball 2. Sanchez tonight 0 for 4. Ridge in trouble trying to keep it a 1-run game. 2-1 pitch. Fly ball into center sends Victorino back. Inning over. Ridge made it interesting. Now it's Wilson back to the hill. Ibanez 0 for 1 against him in his career. Same for Ruiz. Then a pinch hitter for the Phillies. Down by 1. The Falcons take on the Eagles across the street, and the Lions and Giants, Seahawks, Bears, Saints, Bucks. And it's America's game of the week as the Cowboys head to Minnesota to take on the Vikings. 2 compelling 1-3 teams to be sure. Coverage begins tomorrow at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific with a Ford Fox NFL pregame show brought to you by the all-new Ford Edge Drive 1. And then we'll be here tomorrow night for Game 2. And a matchup of Sanchez against Oswalt. Here's Ibanez to deal with Brian Wilson. 4-3 Giants, bottom of the 9th inning, Game 1. Strike one on the outside corner. Ibanez popped 16 home runs during the regular season. Does not have an RBI so far this postseason. Overall, 3 out of 14. It's called ball one.
We asked Charlie Manuel how his team handled Brian Wilson. He said, in the past, we've had good luck against him. One of those good luck games was back on April 28th when Brian Wilson blew a save, a game started by Tim Lincecum.
Outside again, 2-1. Staying away from Ibanez.
Yeah, if you make a mistake away, it's a single. If you make a mistake inside, it could be a home run.
Right through it, 2-2. Jose Contreras getting loose in case the Phillies tie this game. Lidge is due third, bottom of the ninth, so his night is finished. The 2-2. Ball three.
5 fastballs toward the outside corner. So if you're Ibanez, there's no reason to look inside. Just look away.
Still full. Got him looking one away. 96-mile-per-hour fastball, 1 out.
8 straight pitches toward the outside corner. That hits. That misses. 2-1. 2-2. Full count. Full count. Right there.
Perfect pitch from Wilson for out number 1. Here's Ruiz. Strike 1. Carlos is homered. He's 1 for 3. He's reached base now in 24 straight postseason games. Thanks to his 3rd inning home run, which tied the game. Ball 1. Ross Glode is in the on-deck circle. With 1 out, nobody on. Ruiz is grazed by the pitch, and he will head down to first base. Didn't get much of him, but just got enough of Ruiz to put the tying run on. Just off the bottom of the left hand.
Yeah, once a hitter makes his stride like that, there's no getting out of the way with the upper part of the body. You could see Buster closing his eyes when that ball made contact. Bruce Bochy complaining about it, but he was definitely hit by the pitch.
Now Ross Glode. is batting for Lidge, who pitched one scoreless inning. Ball one. $15 out of 66 with 3 pinch hit home runs this year for Philadelphia. We saw the one walk-off in his career. That was regular season in 2009. The 1-0. 2-0.
That is the 10th straight pitch outside to left-handed batters this inning. The 8 to Ibanez and the first 2 to Globe. I think Wilson's proven that he is not going to come inside to left-handed batters.
First LCS at bat, the career of Ross Globe, and he takes a strike. It's 2-1. Ibanez struck out. Ruiz grazed by a pitch. Tying run at first with 1 away. That's into right field, but foul. Just got out in front. And it's 2-2.
He got up out front because that cutter from Wilson cuts over the center of the plate. And Globe fouls it off. He wanted this one outside, but didn't get it there. Middle of the plate. Globe hit it hard, but a foul ball.
The 2-2 struck him out, 2 gone. 96 again. This time to get Globe.
Posey wanted it up. He got it up.
And so the Phillies here in game 1 are down to their final out. And it's Shane Victorino, who's hitless tonight. Now a pinch runner.
I think
into the game. Valdez will run Ruiz.
Excuse me, Joe. I think that Charlie Manuel waited until there were 2 outs to waste a pinch runner, but now you almost have to go with Valdez, who's a step or 2 ahead of Ruiz.
That's a tying run. Ball 1 outside. Victorino hit 18 home runs during the regular season. Ball 2.
Once again, everything away to the left-hander.
Ball really jumps to right in this part. Again away, and it's ball 3, 3-0. Wind is not a factor. It has died down almost completely. The throw to first, and Wilson Valdez gets back. Victorino is taking, and he takes strike 1. Just in case you're wondering, Valdez stole 7, was not caught during the regular season. The runner at first. 3-1 pitch. Full count. The runner Wilson Valdez, the tying run at first, will go with the next pitch. There he goes, and a strikeout ends the night.
Game 1 belongs to the Giants. Brian Wilson records 4 outs here tonight. All 4 with a strikeout.
And all 4 with fastballs. He did not deviate, trying to go away, kept the ball up to Victorino to get him. Perfect pitch to Ibanez for the first out. What a job of pitching by Brian Wilson.
And in a game that was started by a couple of big game pitchers, San Francisco got the bigger game from their big guy. All 163 pounds. Tim Lincecum was good here tonight. He gets the win.
Here are the 6 pitches to Victorino. He misses with the first 3 outside. Then a strike. Then a foul ball. And the payoff paid off.
And so the underdog Giants here on the road get the victory. A final of 4-3. Lincecum against Halladay. And we'll give you our Travelers plays of the game. And it's Cody Ross out of the number 8 spot. Went deep in the 3rd. Went deep in the 5th. And with that man is Ken Rosenthal. Ken?
Thanks, Joe. Cody, Roy Halladay pitched a no-hitter in his last start. Retired his first 7 tonight. What were you thinking when you stepped into the box in the 3rd inning?
Just trying to get a pitch that I can square up and get some good wood on it and just get a base hit. And, luckily I got a pitch I can handle and got some wood on it, and it got up in the air.
Second home run?
Same thing. It's tough enough to get Roy one time, but, I'm going up there trying to create something and got a pitch I can handle, and same deal.
You spent most of the season with the Marlins. You came to the Giants on a waiver claim. Now 3 postseason homers. What has this experience been like for you?
I can't explain it with my words. It's just awesome to be in this situation right now, to be able to come here and help this team get where we wanted to be, and be here, sitting here talking to you right now. Can't express it.
Cody, thank you very much. Joe, back to you.
All right, thank you. Cody Ross, who broke up the no-hitter in Game 4 of the division series with Derek Lowe on the mound when he was facing the Atlanta Braves. Breaks one up here tonight, albeit much earlier in the 3rd inning. And every Giant game that they have played so far in the postseason has been a 1-run game. If they call it torture, they're enjoying it. With a 1-0 lead, the San Francisco Giants win Game 1. Chris and the guys coming up after the break.